There, at this time, I'd like to call the August 25th Diversion Board of Authority meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Peterson.
I am here.
Dr. Mahoney. Mayor Dardis.
Here.
Mayor Carlson. Here. Mr. Hendrickson. Mr. Pepcorn.
Here.
Mr. Ebinger.
Here.
Mr. Strand.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mrs. Shirlene.
Here.
Mr. Steen.
Here.
Mr. Olson. Mr. Seljevold.
Here.
Quorum is present.
We do have a quorum. Thank you for the roll call. Thank you for attending. Before you have of course, the agenda, but with that, we have the approval of meeting minutes from the prior meeting. Look for a motion to approve, amend, discuss, please.
Steen moves to approve.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Move and second. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Order of the agenda is item 3. Do not believe we have any amendments to our order of agenda, so look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please.
So move.
Is there a second? Second. Move and second that the order of agenda be approved as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Consent agenda. Again, presume we've had a chance to review our consent agenda as presented to us in our meeting packet. Look for a motion to approve, discuss.
Strand moves approval.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Move and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger.
Aye.
Mr. Strand.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shirlene.
Yes.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
Mr. Seljevold.
Aye.
That is everyone.
Motion passes. Thank you, everyone.
I'm on 2. This is Chuck. I'm on 2 and aye.
Oh, welcome, sir. I will make sure I pause for you so you have a chance to vote. Now, on to our regular agenda, item 4. Mr. Paulson, are you ready, sir? We smoked through those first items. I'm sure you're probably not prepared.
Jeez, I know. I had to run up here to the podium.
Yeah, nice tie again. Look at you.
Thank
With
you.
all your dressing up fanciness.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Item 4, sir.
Just for your awareness, Mayor Mahoney is trying to get in right now, so I just sent him the pins to get in, so hopefully he joins us. But I'll continue if that's okay.
Mr. Paulson, if I may, he'll then appear on my screen here, correct? Yeah, I'm guessing?
I believe so.
I don't see him on here now.
I'm not sure if he's on computer or, yeah.
Okay, well, let me know, please.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll just get started here. Obviously, a lot of great activity with the groundbreaking. Thank you all board members who attended. It was a bit hot out there, but I think that overall the event went very well. We kept it on time. We had 16 speakers, so that was quite amazing to be able to keep everything on schedule. But great attendance. We had significant media coverage on that. I did send out some links through the board bulletin. So I think you were able to see some of those articles and dig through, but a lot of great coverage. There was only one, I guess not really negative piece, but there was some misinformation on a talk radio show about ASN's hiring practices, which was misinterpreted, kind of false information. And so we did work to correct that. But in general, all the media coverage of the event was extremely positive. Some project accomplishments. We did complete the abandonment of the Red River Valley Western Rail spur that runs up into Horace. As the board can recall, we purchased that railroad right away in an effort to not have to build a railroad bridge with a net saving of $9 million. So we did make a lot of progress this month with getting the abandonment completed. We are currently doing some environmental testing within that right away, and then the railroad tie removal should be underway here shortly. A couple of P3 updates. We had Red River Valley Alliance had 2 project orientation sessions. These are really related to project safety. And so anybody who goes out on site needs to have a project orientation. And this would ensure that everybody understands the proper safety protocols and understands how to enter and exit the construction zone. And so we will be continuing with those orientation sessions so that ensure that everybody that goes on site is thoroughly educated on safety practices and requirements. We did issue 2 limited notices to proceed to ASN to begin construction on various activities. We do anticipate full notice to proceed, hopefully by the end of this month. I would also anticipate that they will start full-scale construction on Reach 1 through 3 of the diversion channel this fall, which really would take them from the outlet to I-29 up north by Argusville, where the groundbreaking was. We do still anticipate that their construction schedules will accommodate continued construction throughout the entire winter. So this is going to be an operation now that starts that more than likely will not stop until we're done with the channel. So pretty exciting things and a lot of activity taking place there. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions that the board might have.
Any questions for Mr. Paulson? Any questions? There we go.
All right. Thank
Anything
you.
else, Mr. Paulson?
Oh, that's all I have.
You sure, 100%?
Yeah, that's all I have. Thank
All right, pinky swear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all I have.
just
Thanks.
making sure. Mute. Yeah, if you're online and you're actively participating in our meeting, could you mute your line, please? We got a little bit of feedback here, which normally is pretty awesome because it's a dog or something, but in this case, it's just scratching sounds, which is much less interesting than your dog. So, item 5, general council update, Mr. Shockley. You're not Mr. Shockley.
I am not, but I'm him today. He's in another meeting, so he sent me. We just have one item before you today. It's a resolution to change the meeting frequency of the Land Management Committee from a regular monthly meeting to more of an as-needed basis. Most of the land acquisition policies are in place, so the meeting of the Land Acquisition Committee is less needed. So that's what this resolution is today for your consideration.
Okay, any questions, concerns, discussion? And again, this isn't going away. It's just being modified ever so slightly based on an as-needed basis. Luckily, we're showing progress, so it's not needed as frequently. Commissioner Steen, please.
Related but unrelated. I saw this and I thought it made a lot of sense. Have we considered the same type of amendment for the Public Outreach Committee?
My understanding is that's coming next month.
You don't want to give us too much at once, okay?
Yeah, sorry, just limited, little bits, just to, tap the waters.
All right, thank you.
Busy agenda, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Strand, please.
It was my loose understanding that both of these committees were going away completely. As I'm hearing this, though, it's available when needed?
Yep, Joel may be here.
Good question, Commissioner Strand. So I'll just go over what we're doing here. So next month we'll bring before the board a resolution to dissolve public outreach in the agricultural committee. The board has indicated that with the lands committee, it still is a necessary committee for the administration of the project. However, if we're not dealing with policy related issues, it turned into more of just an update meeting. We're also updating on the land status at Cass County Joint, MCC, JPA, and then of course it's in the diversion board packet. So it became a redundant kind of exercise that I think from an efficiency standpoint, it makes sense to suspend the land committee, but keep it in case we need it as issues arise, and then they can deal with it. We can call a meeting and provide that recommendation to the board.
Thank you.
Yep.
And as a clarification, Mr. Paulson, public outreach is not dissolved is a pretty aggressive word. I would say the important part from my perspective is it's not going away. It's being merged into another committee. Could you touch? I think we'll learn more about that next month, but could you touch on that real quick just to make sure we know what's happening, please?
Thank you, Chairman. That's a key part of this whole discussion is the activities of public outreach in the agricultural committee will be merged into what will be known as a planning committee. And so the tasks are not going away, but the planning committee will then encompass many of the policy related items that were previously taken care of in those other committees, as well as other pertinent direction from the board or committee to our staff on how to progress on some particular strategy and issues of that nature. So that's correct. It's not that we don't care about public outreach, because we do. Our needs have changed from project development to now project implementation, where communications is more process related to construction activities versus funding, land acquisition, all of those different things that we've made a lot of progress on, and we already have policy direction. That's kind of the reason for that overall change. So,
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. Again, we'll get more clarification on that next month, just to make sure it was clear to the public at large. Those of you listening at home, it is not going away. So further discussion on item 5A.
I'd move the resolution.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Any discussion? If not, do a roll call, please.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Dr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mayor Dardis?
Yes.
Mayor Carlson?
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson?
Must be Tim.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn?
Aye.
Mr. Ebbinger?
Aye.
Mr. Strand?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherling?
Yes.
Mr. Steen?
Yes.
Mr. Seljevold?
Aye.
That is everyone.
Motion passes. Thank you. Welcome, Mayor Mahoney. Thank you for participating. Hope you are feeling well, sir. Item 6 on our agenda is the Army Corps update. I thought I saw Miss Williams virtually.
I'm here, sir.
There we are. You have the com, ma'am.
Great. Good afternoon, and I'm pleased to present the core update for August of 2022. The end of August and the month of September will be quite eventful in a good way for the ongoing federal work, and it's also shown in the upcoming drone footage. For the diversion inlet structure, the precast bridge sections are to be set on top of the dam. So that will bring that structure to full height. For number 2, the Wild Rice River structure, Ames will begin hanging the gate arms and attaching the skin plates for those 2 40-foot gates. So we'll start seeing the gates being hung at the Wild Rice. For the I-29 raise, construction is progressing such that some of the detoured areas around Oxbow, Hickson, and Bakke will be opening up. Reach SC1, construction's nearing completion for this reach, and final inspections are being scheduled. We're also writing the O&M manual for Reach SC1, and this is the first federal construction reach that will be turned over to the Diversion Authority for operation and maintenance purposes. For number 5, the Wild Rice River structure, structural excavation and placement in the dam embankment is ongoing. That'll kick into high gear this fall. Number 6, Drain 27, we're about 40% complete construction there. Expect to be done in November of this year. And in about late October, we plan to issue for bids a contract to perform the native plantings and about a 5-year maintenance of those plantings to develop that wetland. The 7th construction contract we have ongoing, Drayton Dam. Site work is ongoing there. And then for Reach SE2A, site work has commenced out there. I believe they're stripping in order to start placing the dam embankment. Number 9 lists all the design work that's ongoing. We have all of the remaining reaches under detailed design. So the 5 remaining reaches we're designing. And you can see when the next reviews start, the most progressed is SE2B, which we would hope to award a contract for that in 2023. The rest are out in 24 and 25. With that, are there any questions?
Any questions from our friends? Unmuting myself again. Any questions from our friends in the Army Corps? Any questions? Anything further to add, Ms. Williams?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Outstanding. Thank you for your time today. Item 7, Public Outreach Committee. Mr. Olson. Mr. Olson online? I don't believe he is, but just double checking. Amy, do you want to give us a brief? Is there anything to discuss?
I can provide a quick update, but first I believe we have the drone video for the month so you can see the progress that Terry spoke of.
Hi, I'm Tom Fuchs. I recently joined the Metro Flood Diversion Authority as its Senior Construction Manager, and I'm here to provide you an update on progress being made on the FM Area Diversion Comprehensive Project. The project marked a big milestone this month as our public-private partnership developer, the Red River Valley Alliance, broke ground on the 30-mile-long stormwater diversion channel. ASN constructors recently mobilized roughly $50 million worth of equipment, which was purchased locally to start construction. ASN, which is the design and construction arm of the Red River Valley Alliance, is now stripping topsoil and establishing access for preliminary work near the diversion outlet, which is north of Fargo near Argusville, North Dakota. Over the next 4 years, the team will excavate about 45 million cubic yards of material. For perspective, that's enough dirt to fill the Fargo Dome more than 47 times. From here, our drone view takes us south of Fargo, where work continues on the Red River structure, the largest of 3 gated control structures being built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. These structures will regulate flow into the FM Metro and redirect floodwaters to the stormwater diversion channel during flood events. Ames Construction is excavating at the site in preparation for foundation work, as well as constructing the tie-ins to the 20-mile-long southern embankment. Nearly 16.5 miles of piling will be installed to secure the Red River structure. Over at the I-29 project, where the Corps of Engineers is raising a 4-mile stretch of interstate, crews have made strong progress in recent months. On the north end of the site, they are now removing preload embankments and have begun building the southbound Borrow Ditch Bridge. Upon completion, the southern embankment will connect to the north end of the Borrow Ditch bridges, and the bridges will allow floodwaters to pass under I-29 on its way to the diversion channel. On the southern end of the I-29 project site, the bridge at County Road 18 is nearly complete. Crews are continuing to work on reconstructing the interchange ramps and are also laying asphalt at County Roads 18 and 81. The I-29 project in its entirety is expected to wrap up in early 2024. If you're looking for more project updates and interesting facts, head to fmdiversion.gov to sign up for our monthly newsletter, The Diversion Current.
A little bit of activity.
Yeah, it's exciting to see all that new equipment moving too.
Anything further on public outreach?
I can give you a quick update. The diversion current is surpassing all industry averages now with our 3rd issue, so that's pretty exciting and good to see. And then we're just continuing with some of the additional video production that you've seen. You'll start to see some more short form videos appear online, and then we just provided the support, as you know, for the groundbreaking, including a media advisory, and had a chance to introduce Tom in a news release this week as well. So if you have feedback on the board bulletin or the diversion current, feel free to let me know at any time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions, board members? Any questions? If not, we'll progress on to our next item. Thank you. Next item is land management. Commissioner Sherling, you want to start us off, then Ms. Smith, or vice versa?
Well, we didn't meet, but go ahead, Jody. You can see in your packet that the usual monthly report is there. I do monitor all of the joint board meetings, and I can tell you that there's a lot of activity going on between that group, and my thanks to them, and also to the landowners. Big thanks to the landowners as well. This is a huge effort on everyone's part, and Ms. Smith is up at the podium, and I'm sure she can give you even better detail.
Thank you, and good afternoon. Paul, if you'll go to the next slide, if you'll notice today, the report is slightly different than the report that you've seen in the previous packets. What we tried to do is consolidate the information and bring it forward in a manner that may be a little bit more digestible, as we, every month we do close additional property acquisitions, but want to make sure that we're presenting it with the opportunity to look through it. The next slide, we just give an overview of what those maps are. So you can see on our construction footprint, we're about 82.5% complete. So that does include the diversion channel, the southern embankment in Town Oxbow and Drayton Dam. And then within the UMA footprint, we're just slightly over 24%. If you'll remember last month, we're hovering at about 18.5%. So on the next slide, we break this down a little bit further for you. So again, in the southern embankment, we're about 76% complete. Note that the land agents and the land team are making a concerted effort towards this. Not everybody has received their appraisals. We're still waiting for some final drawings from the Corps. So it's not that we could reach 100% right now, but certainly that'll be our goal at the end of the project. And then the upstream mitigation area, again, we have quite a few flowage easement offers sitting on the table. Again, we have some additional flowage easements to work through with the appraisers and get them to the respective joint boards for review and approval. And then we're at nearly 72% for the environmental monitoring easements. And on the bottom, you can see where we've successfully completed the acquisition process. Within the channel, that's 99.5 because there is one parcel that is left to acquire. And I know Eric is working with that personally to make sure that that gets closed. And it was just an oversight on our part when we originally went through that acquisition process. So the next slide, then, we do provide an update of just some key activities that we've been working on this past month. So we continue to work on the negotiating settlement agreements for those who are in the quick take eminent domain process. We are in active negotiations with everyone who hasn't already reached a settlement. I know there was a recent article in the newspaper about this. Within the court system, we have just a little over 20 court cases still pending. Half of those actually have reached settlement, but until we have all the documentation signed and in the system, we don't remove it from the court docket. Again, the rest of them, we are in active negotiations and hopefully we'll be able to reach an agreement with those landowners. The Phase 3 flowage easement appraisals and completing purchase offers. So you recently, last March, we released the Phase 2, and right now we're starting to release the Phase 3. Most of those involve structures, so it may be involving some complexities with relocating farmsteads or personal residences. We are working towards planning and coordinating the last written offers for those Phase 2 flowage easements. We're kind of going through a review process internally right now to determine how those will go out. And then we're planning in process refinement for the upstream mitigation area if there's any possible way to do some structure mitigation. This is how the report will come to you. I know in the past couple of months, we've had the traditional report, and then verbally, I'm just giving you some of those percentages, and we thought we'd make that shift over so that you had that visual cue as well. Again, any feedback that you would have of additional information you'd like to see in this report, please feel free to share it with me. We can add it to the next agenda. I'm open for any questions that you might have.
Commissioner Strand, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jody, I'm just curious. Not that many years ago, we were aware of prices being somewhat at a low. The values were down. The concern and impact on the families and the farms, the generational farms was, they were facing a whole different situation than I'm guessing people are facing now, with land values having escalated maybe to record highs. Could you just give us a sense of how that's all shaking out and how it's impacting us and our budget? And I'm assuming maybe that's also helping people decide more quickly to settle?
So Chairman and Commissioner Strand, members of the board, we have seen prices increase. It's something that we certainly have to take in consideration and something that land agents are challenged with. The increases have gone up significantly in the past 12 months. I think everybody is aware of that. And so when we're going to the property owners and having those conversations, if they want to adjust from what has been proposed, there's a couple of different paths that they can take. They can seek their own appraisal, and then we'll take that into consideration once that is complete. That does delay the process a little bit because typically it takes some time to get through that appraisal process. They can also bring us additional information that maybe recent land acquisitions or sales that have occurred around the area that we can use as comps when we're taking that into consideration. So it has impacted us. We do watch the budget closely. I'm in constant conversations with Paul and Eric about that. And then certainly I know that we've spoken, I think Joel's brought forth that we've gone through our risk registry. And we recently went through that, and certainly the risk of the continued increase of land acquisitions went in there. It did increase the risk for the lands team and our portion of the budget just because the acquisitions have gone up so significantly. And it does come into play when we're doing some of our settlement negotiations as well, because, what was the land value a year ago and what is the land today is something that needs to be considered. Did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you very much.
Any further questions? Any further questions? Commissioner Shirley, anything more to add?
No, thank you.
Outstanding. With that, I think we can move on to our next item, which would be, as no action needed into there, item 9, finance update. Mayor Dardis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met yesterday, and then online with the conversation that Commissioner Strand was raising to Jody. Year-to-date, as of July 31st, the Metro Flood Diversion Authority has spent $332,714,793 thus far on land acquisition. So as Ms. Smith has indicated, they're working with Paul on all of that, but the Finance Committee is also keeping track of that. In addition, yesterday, there are 3 items that were on the contracting actions that was on the consent agenda. Those items were presented by Mr. Paulson and all unanimously approved, so obviously we move them forward to you. Our cash position at this time, as of July 31st, is we have $149,182,466. And one of the other things that I've been tracking is the legacy bond fund balance. That's some of the dollars that were allocated to us, was $435,500,000. And at this time, we have $178,799,719.89 still available and remaining. With that, one other item that I might want to bring up is the in-town levy work as of July 31st. The dollars that have been expended for that is $195,201,320.79. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions for Mayor Dardis or our financial team? If not, I think we progress on to item 10, other business. Anything for other business? Team members, Mr. Paulson, anything for other business? With that, we can move on to our next item. Our next meeting will be September 22nd, and I've been told to inform both our friends on this board as well as the public at large, our full lunch and learns are slated to start September 1st at the Amber Valley office, which is 4784 Amber Valley Parkway. We'll get an update accordingly from our team members, I sure hope, but we are shifting where we've been holding those in the past. And with that, I have nothing more to add. Board members, anything more to add? If not, look for a motion to adjourn. Is there a second, please? Second. All those in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.